The biggest mistake. Trust. How much do you trust the money in your wallet or in your bank? You probably think it will stay there forever and retain its value. This thought was a very dangerous lie that even the greatest civilizations in history told themselves. Civilizations before us trusted as well. For example, the Romans trusted their silver coins, the French trusted their revolutionary currency, and even modern Argentinians trusted their pesos. Yet one morning, they all woke up to find their entire savings had turned to ashes. Financial collapse was never an accident or an exception, because financial collapse is inherent to the system itself. Today, I will explain to you 3 rules that can help you protect all your savings and even your future, from past to present. Because when the next disaster arrives, the difference between those who know these rules and those who don't will become evident. Rule 1. The system always wants more. To understand the first rule, we have to go to Rome 2,000 years ago. Everything in Rome was measured in the denarius, a coin made of 95% pure silver. Soldiers' salaries, a family's livelihood, everything depended on this coin. The Romans trusted this coin immensely because it was strong. At that time, the emperors had a problem. Wars, huge projects, and endless expenses. The treasury was empty. What was the solution? The first thought was to impose taxes, but they feared a public revolt. Instead, they came up with a clever idea. They started reducing the silver content in the coins and replacing it with copper. The people still had denarius, but its value gradually declined because of the copper inside. This was an old financial trick called debasement. This situation was not unique to Rome. For instance, in Germany in the 1920s, people had to carry wheelbarrows full of money just to buy a loaf of bread. More recently, in Zimbabwe, you need $100 billion to buy 3 eggs. Today, this is called quantitative easing in modern terms, but the principle is the same. To keep the wheels of the system turning, they must create more money. And every extra unit of money reduces, or rather steals, the value of the money in your pocket. Rule 1. They do not fix the value of money. Governments and banks can reduce the value of your money whenever they need, emptying the contents of the money you trust. Rule 2. Wealth transfers. Feed on crises. Now, the most ruthless rule. Crises do not destroy wealth, as they have led you to believe. Crises only transfer wealth. They do not eliminate it. Imagine the Great Depression of 1929. The stock market crashed, and millions of people lost everything. People's companies, homes, farms, everything vanished overnight. Food lines appeared on the streets. It was a catastrophe. Of course, this was not the same for everyone. In times of crisis, there was a minority with no debt and cash on hand. While most people were desperate to sell, they were buying. Stocks that people sold for $1, lands that were abandoned cheaply, they purchased them all. Families like the Kennedys and Rockefellers rose during the chaos. The same thing happened during the 2008 financial crisis. Millions lost their homes while investment funds bought those properties. In the 2020 pandemic, small businesses went bankrupt one by one, while large tech companies and cash-rich investors made some of the greatest acquisitions in history. In such crisis environments, wealth flows from those in debt and unprepared to those with cash. If you have cash on the sidelines, these crises can make you wealthy. If not, they will consume you. Rule 3. Do not trust the system. This is the hardest rule because it goes against human nature. This rule tells you never trust the institutions that are supposed to protect you. For example, have you heard about what happened in Lebanon? Lebanon's banks, known as the Switzerland of the Middle East, collapsed. People trusted the banks with their money, believing the system was solid. One day, the system failed, and banks shuttered their doors. People could not withdraw their money. Their savings became meaningless numbers. The banks said, "Your money is here, but we can't give it to you." In Cyprus in 2013, when the state faced bankruptcy, it did the following. It confiscated part of the deposits in banks. In other words, to save the bank, people's money was used. If a system reaches the point of collapse, their priority will not be you, but saving the system. Governments, banks, or insurance companies, they will sacrifice you to keep the system alive. The places where you trust your money are actually your greatest risk. Solution: a survival guide. So what should we do? Should we fall into pessimism or despair? Of course not. History not only teaches us about problems, but also about solutions. Keep your money in real value. Think about what remained after past collapses. Things that authorities and politicians cannot destroy, like precious metals such as gold and land. Throughout history, these have always served as stores of value and will continue to do so. Your wealth is your skill. During crises, money can lose value, but your skills and abilities never will. For example, a carpenter, doctor, or farmer, people who are handy are always wealthier than others, because as long as you can produce, you survive. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Never keep all your money in a single currency, a single country, or a single bank. That is financial suicide. Survival requires oxygen, and oxygen means diversifying your investments, because something will always collapse, but something else will remain. One investment may drag you down, but another will keep you afloat. Conclusion: history is a cycle, and right now we are at a critical point in that cycle. In the coming years, there will be a major distinction between those who know these three rules and those who don't. Remember, the future does not belong to the loudest politicians or bankers in the tallest buildings. The future belongs to those who can hear the whispers of history and prepare accordingly. The choice is yours. Will you be the next victim of history or one of the survivors? If this video added value to you, don't forget to hit the like button and share this important information with your loved ones. In the comments, tell us what worries you most about today's economic system. See you in the next video. Stay safe and trust wisely.